Okay, now this video, I want to talk about all the bullshit that's going on, and people can't seem to see through it. I'm going to try and put some things in perspective the way that I see it. Maybe it'll rub off on you. Maybe it won't. Maybe the thought will stay with you and it'll grow and you'll do your own investigating. You really need to investigate everything that's going on. And I'm not a Bible thumper, but I'm telling you, if you open up your eyes and you read the Bible, you are going to come across some fucking questions that are going to blow your mind. You can't read it as though everything in it was magical and these beings were angels and demons. They are entities. Some of them we can't see. Some of them we can see. There's just a whole lot going on. And you really, I mean, seriously, I got to be blunt with you. If you can sit and read that fucking Bible and believe it and then knock me for thinking aliens are real, you're fucking more crazier than I am. You'll call me crazy, but yet you believe that fucking Bible is being magical and mystical, and you know what I mean? And you put your faith in this thing you can't fucking see, let alone understand. And you go to a church and have somebody preach the book to you because you're too fucking lazy to read it. Oh, I believe in God. Explain God to me. People can't explain it. They say, oh, God is all loving. Well, I can show you a whole bunch of shit in the Bible that shows you God's mean. This God that was in the Bible was mean. Sometimes he was nice, sometimes he was mean. Says he is jealous, he's a jealous God. So that doesn't make him perfect. He is by far he is far from perfect if he is a jealous God. What would he have to be jealous about? You will say, oh, a false God, idol. Well, if he was God, all-knowing, all-seeing, and all-understanding, he wouldn't be threatened by a false idol. You understand? But the sin in itself is you worshiping this false idol, and you're unattentive to yourself. You could give a fuck about yourself, but you'll care about this idol that you call God, the one not true God. He is not this God you people think exists. Does not. I am not atheist. I believe in God. I just don't believe that God is a being that looks like us and sits on a throne and has gray hair. You know what I think that is? I think that's an alien. I think we've had intervention here, and I don't think our lives went the way that it was meant to go. I think it was interfered with. And in the process, they convinced you that they're gods, or God. In the Bible, when it starts out, let us create man in our image and of our likeness. That is another being. That is not God. That is another being, a group of beings. Let us make man in our image. That is a group of beings. Now, they say God is within you and all around you. Heaven is within you and all around you. Half of you don't even understand that. You don't even understand that. Split a piece of wood and I'm there. Lift up a rock and I'm there. Nobody understands that. You are God. You are God. And you can call me crazy. You can pray for me all you want. I let you. Until you wake up and realize that you're God, you're always pointing out the fallacies that he has. Oh, why did he take this child now? Why did this have to happen? That's because he's sleeping in you and in me. You want to talk to God? Look in the mirror. Talk to your friend down the street. You know, when you need advice and somebody comes along and just happens to have advice for you that fits at that time what you need, you say, oh, God sent an angel. No, God helped you. That's what happened. God helped you. You put energy out there seeking help, and that energy grabbed some help and brought it to you. It's called karma. It is the universe. It is what we created to help ourselves. Karma. You want something, you will attract it, you will get it. If you need help, even if it's just somebody to talk to, you will get it. You can have anything that you want so long as you through process, as long as you attract it to yourself. You're going to push everything away by being negative. It's okay to be negative to a degree, like you don't really think it's going to happen, but you want it so bad. That's being negative to a degree. That you want it more than you believe you can have it. That's when you attract it. I'm sorry, I kind of got off base with that. What I really wanted to talk about was this race baiting and this flag stomping and religion fighting and these racist bastards all fighting. Is what I don't understand is these racist people are missing out on so much. There is so much to gain by being friends with someone of another race. You look at it as though there's so much to gain by just talking to another white person or talking to another black person. You think you enriched your life. You haven't enriched your life. What you have done is you created walls to prevent you from experiencing life to the fullest by having hate within you. Now, I mean, sometimes things sound ridiculous. Look at Hitler trying to create an Aryan race. That was ridiculous. He himself didn't even fit the description of the Aryan race. I do, but I believe I am a descendant from aliens, just like you. This body is a descendant from aliens that mixed their DNA with the beings that were here originally to create this form. But here's the problem. We're all sitting here on this planet, and we all have a main common problem. The 1%. People that have money and don't think they have enough. They have all the money you could ever need, and they still want more. And they want control. And they want to make sure that they can keep all this money and keep all this control. So what they got to do is keep you sleeping. I'm finding out through investigating. I mean, you can go to a library and look up this shit. I mean, you ain't got to go to Google. I mean, they went so far as they came out with a commercial making fun of people that look for things online. You're going to find some bullshit online, and you're going to find some truth. You're going to find bullshit in the library, and you're going to find truth in the library. You're going to find bullshit in the newspaper and truth in the newspaper. Just like bullshit in the Bible and then some truth in the Bible. They mix everything up. It confuses you, and people just pick out what they want to pick out and make it fit their need. Now, everybody wants to be special. Everybody wants to be special. You get a group of people together that want to be special, like these white supremacists and these black supremacists, the Panthers. Okay? Both parties want to be special. They claim that their race is better than the other race. A lot of this is black and white. Now, I can guarantee one of these races could dominate the other race, or let's say they wipe them out. Let's say the blacks wipe the whites out. I can guarantee you, with no white people on this earth, the black people would find a problem with Asians. If there were no Asians on this earth, they would have a problem with the people that call themselves Jews, whom I don't think are the original Jews. I can believe that there was another race that were the Jews. But from what I'm seeing, I'm not quite sure that they were black. I know they weren't white. But I'm pretty damn sure they weren't black. Now, here's the thing. Same thing with the white people. If you got rid of all the black people. Now, you can already see this. Black people just focus mainly on white people. But white people, racist, focus on all races. They don't like anybody except for white people. But you get rid of all the white people, and the black people will be just as bad as the white people. They'll go to another race and go to another race. Oh, we're superior. Oh, you went in the mountains. Oh, you went in the mountains and hid from the sun, so you turned white. Oh, you've been smacked in the head so many times that your eyes went sideways. You know, all this dumb shit, man. I mean, some of this shit that I'm hearing is just so fucking retarded. It's just so fucking retarded. And you want to believe in this Bible, and you can't see this God, and you know, like George Carlin said, you can believe in something that you can't see, but yet when you see a sign that says wet paint, you still got to touch it. You have so much to gain if you just drop racism. All the folk out there that's like me, that don't have a race problem, I see problems with white people. I do see problems with black people. I see problems with Asian people. I see problems with Chinese people. Chinese people eat anything. They eat shit. They got shit burgers. They eat people. They eat aborted fetuses and shit. They motherfuckers scare the fuck out of me. They'll eat anything. But I see flaws in every race. And you know what? We all have flaws. One of the problems everybody has is, back to the subject, is they want to be special. When you got a group of people that want to be special, you make that group special. Once that group is special, now every individual wants to be special. So you can have a group of racists, and they could win the race war. And they could dominate the earth or just get rid of the other races. Eventually, the fact that everybody wants to be individually special will start another war. Everybody wants to be special. I don't care who you are. Inside, you feel like you're the only one really paying attention to what's going on around you. I mean, you get around a bunch of people that feel the same way, now you got your little clique. Now you got a group of people that want to be special. Then it goes back to the individual again. It's never going to end unless you let it go. We have a common problem. The elite, the rich people, the 1%. Our politicians are being bought by these corporations. And these corporations need us to stay good slaves. You don't see what's going on. There's no living off the grid. There's no hiding anywhere. You can't go anywhere without them finding you. And we'll just use the United States as an example. There's nowhere to run. You can't hide. They'll find you in the event something goes down. Now, if you have solar panels and you're living off the electric grid, they're trying to regulate that now. And they successfully are, because we let them. They are supposed to be working for us. They are not supposed to be monarchs. They are not supposed to tell us how to live and what to do. It was a government created by the people, for the people. These people are supposed to represent you, not themselves, not the corporations. They're supposed to represent the people of the United States, not the companies. And it's gotten ridiculous. It's turned into a corporation. Cops are out there. They have bonuses according to how many tickets they give out. And at the end of the month, it's ridiculous. I mean, the last 2 weeks of the month, the last week, really, of the month, you see cop cars all over the place pulling people over. It's just ridiculous. Laws are misconstrued, misrepresented, and you people assume too much instead of reading. You will fight with somebody over a law that you believe is a law that is not a law. And you will believe it wholeheartedly that it is a law. Even when somebody shows you proof it isn't, you will still fight with them saying it is. It's retarded. That's a good sheeple. That's how some of these stupid laws get passed, because you already believe it's a law. So when they pass it, you'll just turn around to somebody and say, I told you so, without thinking that they just passed that law. So which means it wasn't a law. They had to pass it. Do you know they just passed a law that it's illegal to have sex with animals? How many people out there already thought it was illegal to have sex with animals? That blows your mind, huh? They got so many fucking laws in the books, it's impossible to read them all. They just, when they got to come after you for something, they'll figure out your whole life, and they'll go back and they'll look at all the laws and see how many laws you broke to come get you. We won't even pick up a fucking book to know half the laws. We got a Supreme Court that's in there causing us all fighting with the cops. You take away certain rights to the cops and give them to us, like videotaping. We're allowed to videotape cops now. It was never against the law to videotape cops in the first place. But it went up to the Supreme Court because they were fighting it, and the Supreme Court ruled that we can videotape cops. Flashing lights to oncoming traffic to let them know there's a cop sitting there. That was never illegal. I had to go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, no, it's not illegal. It's freedom of speech. It's no different than when somebody's coming up and you see a deer on the side of the road getting ready to run across the street, and you flash your lights to let the other car know, slow down, a deer's going to cross or something down the road that they need to pay attention to. That's what it is. So it's not illegal to do that, but they thought it was illegal to flash your lights to let them, and it's not illegal to flash your lights to let people know that there's a cop down the road. Some states it is. Now the government is supposed to represent us, the people, and give us what we want. Now, a lot of people in this population, I agree that people should quit smoking. But I do not agree with the fact that non-smokers I don't believe that they have a right to try and force us to quit if we don't want to. That's where freedom is fucked up. Because you have freedom. This is the land of the free, and I can smoke if I want. I can scratch my ass in public if I want. Pick my nose. Morally, that's ignorant. But you can do that. But you got these assholes. Oh, he picked his ass, and the next thing you know, there's a law. You can't pick your ass in public. They got you convinced that you can get lung cancer from secondhand smoke, when in fact you get lung cancer when you don't smoke from eating meat. And when you do smoke, you can get lung cancer from eating meat. I don't care if it's raw meat. I don't care if it's medium rare meat. I don't care if it's burnt meat. The vitamin A that comes in meat, that is in meat naturally, causes lung cancer. And when you investigate and you go back further, you find out we're not supposed to be eating meat. I try to leave the beef alone and eat more chicken. Eventually, I'll get away from the chicken. It's going to take me some time. I've been eating meat my entire life, meat and poultry. But I'm finding fruits and vegetables that are as filling as meat. There's just something, when you start out, there's something missing from everything you eat. Because you don't feel that fullness that you feel when you have a hamburger or something. You know what I mean? But, off topic again. So, if you guys could just drop the fucking racism. It's okay to stay within your race. It's okay to go outside your race. To be with somebody from the opposite race. That's your choice. That's your freedom. That's your God-given right. One of the things that these Bible thumpers forget is God gave you freedom of choice. And with that freedom of choice, what their God says you're supposed to do with it is go do what you want. Do you want to go with God? Do you want to go with Satan? It's up to you. That's why you have free will. But these religions, they get out of hand and they try to force their religion on you. And they try to impose laws on people so people don't disrespect God. But God gave you free will to choose the life that you wanted. And in the end, in their books, then God will judge you by the life that you lived, the choices that you made. That's why you have free will. If you want to be Luciferian, you can be Luciferian. If you want to follow God, then you can follow God. And in the end, their God is supposed to judge you. But they don't even listen to their book. They'd rather run out with their fucking Bible and call everybody sinners and judge them when it tells you not to be judged, when it tells you not to judge. And they rip the Bible in, and they go into it and they look for a reason. They look for that right to judge somebody. And apparently Corinthians is loaded with all kinds of bullshit. Giving people the right to judge. Giving people the right to cut somebody's arm off because they stole. What the fuck, man? Really? Okay, so what the God said in the Bible was He gave you free will to prove your loyalty to Him. But yet you got all these people forcing you to be loyal to God. That's not what God wants. God wants you to walk your own path without being steered. Now all these people that sin, that you have converted forcefully into following God's law, will be forgiven. All these people you have executed will be forgiven automatically because you judged them down here. Once you judge somebody down here, then God can't judge them up there. You're God. They cannot be judged once you judge them here. I don't think you people get that. Now that's your God. My God is you. Me. Everybody around me. These trees. The grass. This home. The food on my table. That's God. When I'm sitting at a four-way stop and somebody waves me, go ahead. That's God. When I'm dying of thirst and somebody gives me their last drop of fluid in their cup, or gives me their last bottle of water to drink, that's God. When you know right from wrong and you do good, you choose to do good, that's God. When you choose to do the wrong thing, that's Satan. Ego. I would love to see everybody drop racism. And the people that aren't racist, the people that see other races as equal, if you could just speak about it and explain why it's wrong to be racist. These people may never wake up. You tried. That's all you can do. You ain't got to sit there and fight with them. Just show them why it's wrong. Explain to them why it's wrong. And if they don't understand, that's on them. God tried. This world's getting fucked up because of ego. Ego is Satan. Ego gets angry. Ego gets scared. Ego wants money. Ego wants sex. Ego wants a home. Ego wants a fancy car. Ego wants a threesome. Ego wants all this stuff. And the soul that inhabits the body, that lives with the ego, is trying to do good. This is why Jesus went out in the desert for 40 days. The ultimate battle with the devil, the ego, is the fast. You want to see that motherfucker come out? Go fast for 40 days. Somewhere where there's no way you can get food. Let that motherfucker starve. But watch how much fighting you do in your own head. That's how Jesus became the way he was. Godly. Forgiving. He got rid of ego. He went out there and he fought ego like a man. It told him to kill himself. It told him to eat this. It told him to turn a stone, and if you're a God, it was trying to convince him he wasn't God. He wasn't the Son of God. And he wasn't God. It fought with him for 40 days. In the end, Jesus won. That was a normal man who was just like us, who knew who he was. And he set out to defeat this ego. And he did. Racism is all ego. It's all ego. It's special. Ego wants to be special. Ego wants to be the only one that's like itself. Ego doesn't think about death. Although if ego's staring death in the face, it gets scared. Ego holds all this. There's so much shit that's going on that you can't fucking see because you believe that fucking Bible is magic. God isn't sitting on a throne somewhere. God doesn't have white hair and a beard. God is energy. God is all around you. God is inside you. God is that tree, the grass. God is that deer that you went and hunted and killed for food on your plate. God is that bear that scares the shit out of you, and that lion. God is inside that plant that you eat. God is everywhere, staring you in the face, and you can't see it. But in your mind, He's sitting on a throne in heaven. Gotta let racism go. And this flag burning, all this anarchy was created by the elite. And to keep us fighting. Because as long as we're fighting with ourselves, we are never going to go after them. The ones that are creating all this. If you want to keep fighting about race, you want to keep fighting about religion, you want to keep blaming your problems on other people, on another race, you're never going to see the truth. If you were so smart that you could build the pyramids, if you were so smart that you did all this wonderful shit you think you did, and why is it that you were dumb enough to sell each other to the white man as slaves? But you're so smart to build pyramids. I would love to hear a story, which I have not heard yet, on how you became so fucking stupid from being so smart. So if you were a great people that you say you were, then how did you become so stupid? Now I say this because you talk about how great you were, how intelligent you were, and all these great things you did. So from that to where you're at now, how did you go from this to being slaves, bought and sold? And you got your freedom. We're all slaves. It's just an illusion. They just gave slaves to slaves, is what it was. But if you were so smart, how did you wind up so stupid? You're always talking about how smart you were. You're so smart, you were Jewish and you were Egyptian. But the Jews were the slaves to the Egyptians. So, I mean, you want to preach that Bible talk, huh? Let's do it your way. Moses freed the slaves, right? And then they'll say, oh no, they were Hebrew Jews. Jews are Jews, a Jew. A Jew is a Jew is a Jew. Okay? Now, granted, the Jews that are there now might not be the original Jews, but a Jew is a Jew is a Jew. Either you were Egyptian or you were a Jew. Sammy Davis Jr. was a Jew. So that means his ancestors were slaves to the Egyptians. So what is it that made you so fucking stupid compared to how great you think you were? Think about it. You don't talk about any mistakes you made, if this was all true. How did you go from that to this, if you were so great? I would love to hear the story about how you fell. Next you'll be telling me you're the original Atlanteans. The way I see it, we were a race of people here on this earth, and we got fucked with. Our DNA was changed and turned us into this The perfect slaves. We can work, but we're not that strong we can fight something that's stronger than us. We're quick, but quick doesn't help you when another entity is stronger than you. When it's bigger than you, faster than you. So they recreate you, but they make sure that you can't beat them. So you create something that can do all this wonderful work for you and everything, but they can never beat your ass. Let's create a slave, but we'll make him weak and feeble. We'll make him strong enough to do what we need him to do, but not too strong so he can beat our ass. That's what happened. That's why we went from up here to down here. As a whole, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, Indian. We were all up here on our way and got knocked down. The only reason they changed us was because we were a threat. That's why we were changed. So if these guys can let go of racism and your religious battles, then we can all concentrate on bringing this world back to the way that it was supposed to be. Peaceful and loving. Just stop fighting. Stop fighting and we can all work together and we can bring this world back to the way that it was meant to be. We're all one. I didn't say everything I needed to say. I just kind of got off track here and there and everywhere. But you get the gist of it, right? We need each other. We're all brothers and sisters. I don't care what you look like. And even one thing is that the white people were once black and they went and lived in the caves. And because they were out of the sun for so long in the caves, they turned white and lost their pigmentation. So even your own statement making us separate makes us the same. I mean, do you not see how stupid this is? No matter how you explain the story or what you do, we are all the fucking same. We may have came from different planets. We may have been here and changed. It doesn't matter. Even the entities that are out there living on other planets are our brothers and sisters. We were all created from source. And in the Bible, if you're a Bible thumper, God created everything. Now, who are you to say God didn't create life somewhere else? Who are you to say that? Who are you to say that we're the center of the universe? What's your proof? They say we landed on the moon. I don't even know if that's true. Peace.